Hello Bond fans and welcome to this sort of very quick update video. This is an audio recording because I simply just don't have the time to record a video at the moment. Basically, I haven't really touched on the Bond 25 news in quite some time, so I think it's best to kind of delve into some of that. Okay, so bit of updates for you. As we know, back a while ago, it was confirmed that the film had a release date tipped for October 2019 and November in 2019. UK date October, US date November. The film was going to star Daniel Craig. It will be his fifth and final Bond movie, with Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli producing. And Danny Boyle was tipped to direct the movie. Unfortunately, due to creative differences, Danny Boyle has now decided to leave the project. Which is very sad indeed. This is in dispute over the villain and the casting of the villain. I don't know to what extent it would have caused him to want to drop out of the project, but well, this is just very sad news, very sad indeed on a number of levels. But before I go into my personal reasons as to why I think this is a bit sad, I'm just going to read the article from the BBC because it really puts things in perspective. So do bear with me. It's gonna take a couple of minutes or so. Before I go on, I should say that the most recent piece of news is that the film is going to be delayed by a year. So it would be delayed to 2020, which would mean it would come out 5 years after Spectre, so half a decade. Okay, let's do this. So, the release date of the next James Bond film is widely expected to be put back following Danny Boyle's abrupt decision to exit the currently untitled project. Bond 25 is scheduled to arrive in UK cinemas on October 25th, 2019, and open in US 2 weeks later. But the film may not now be released until late 2020, according to The Hollywood Reporter's unnamed sources. The Oscar-winning director's shock departure earlier this week was attributed to creative differences. According to The Telegraph, those may have included Boyle's purported wish to cast Polish actor Tomasz Kot as the film's main Russian villain. Kot, 41, can currently be seen in Paweł Pawłowski's film Cold War, which had its premiere at this year's Cannes Film Festival. The Telegraph also claimed the film's producers had concerns over the script's focus on the current political tensions with Russia. A spokesman for Trainspotting screenwriter John Hodge, author of the script in question, confirmed this week that he was no longer involved. MGM and Eon, who produced the Bond films, denied to comment. Filming had been due to start in December at Pinewood Studios in Buckinghamshire, with Daniel Craig reprising his role as Ian Fleming's iconic spy. David Mackenzie, Jan Demick and Joe Wright are among the filmmakers who have been tipped to take over the director's chair. Excuse me. With the exact reasons for Boyle's departure still unclear, people previously involved in the Bond films are being asked for their thoughts on the situation. These include actor Jonathan Pryce, who is quoted in the Daily Mail as saying that the producers parted company with Boyle because they obviously couldn't take a socialist Bond. There are the Dannys of this world, and then there are the people who do the blockbusters, continued Pryce, who played the villainous Elliot Carver in 1997's Tomorrow Never Dies. Boyle had never concealed his left-leaning sympathies, though he declined to identify himself as a socialist in a 2013 interview. His opening ceremony for the 2012 Olympics featured a Bond-based short and a set-piece tribute to the National Health Service. So, that article from the BBC kind of puts things in perspective. I mean, this news is very sad. I mean, I was very excited to have seen what Danny Boyle would have done for Bond 25. I mean, given that Sam Mendes had said that he wasn't going to return after Spectre, and it took a long time for Daniel Craig to admit he was going to come back, it got me more excited. I mean, it feels a bit like a kick in the teeth, really. I mean, you're not going to get a rant about this because really, there's no point. It's not something to rant about. It's just I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I would have loved to have seen Bond 25 in 2019. I mean, I lean on the assumption that if the film is going to be delayed to another year, then it better be amazing. It had better be worth the 5-year wait, because we have waited a long time so far. It's been, oh god, it's been painful waiting for the next Bond movie, especially as it's going to be Craig's last one. Spectre was released in 2015 and still remains the current Bond movie. It's been 3 years nearly since Spectre, and it's a shame that we haven't sort of got the ball rolling, really. We thought we were, but clearly not. I mean, don't fret. We will get Bond 25. Oh yes, we will get it, and Daniel Craig will go out on a high note. I really hope he does, because after, I mean, the way his era has gone so far, for me, has been very good, mostly very good. So I want him to go out with a bang, and the best possible way he can. If it means they have to really kind of ditch some ideas from other creators like Danny Boyle, okay, fair enough. You know, do what you got to do. In order to sort of save Bond 25, you really need to find a director now. I don't know whether they're going to go back to that original script they had before Danny Boyle came in, or whether they're going to write a completely new script, go back to the drawing board. I don't know if they'll have to rewrite the whole script. They'll probably go back to the old idea and maybe do some tweaks, maybe have some, you know, make sure they've got everything right. I mean, Craig himself is a co-producer, so he has his say, which is fantastic. So I'm expecting great things, Daniel. I'm expecting great things. It just sucks that we have to wait a bit longer, especially as we haven't really heard anything about the film. It really is a bit of a downer that the film was most likely to be released into 2020 now, which will make it 5 years after Spectre, which is a real shame. I mean, I for one love Spectre. I thought Spectre was great. I know some people didn't like Spectre, and some people, you know, found it to be a very mixed bag. I mean, obviously, it came out after Skyfall, so Skyfall was the kind of one of the crowning jewels of the Bond film series. It came out in 2012, and then 3 years later Spectre came out, and naturally some people weren't going to like it as much. I for one really liked Spectre. I thought it was fantastic, but that's just me. I would personally quite love to see the film, as now that the Daniel Craig films have established the sense of continuity, with all the films being linked in a subtle and kind of clever way. I would like the film Bond 25 to kind of resolve that. I mean, I know it's unlikely, but Blofeld, I for one would like to see Blofeld back. I know some people wouldn't. Which is, I mean, it looks like we're going to get a new villain anyway, so I should probably dash that wish before I quit while I'm ahead there. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It sucks we have to wait, but at the end of the day, all I can say is I hope that we get the best film we possibly can, that we possibly want, because, you know, it would have been 5 years since Spectre. They could release it in 2019, but it's very unlikely. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. And, you know, Danny Boyle, for whatever reason that you left, I hope it was a good reason. And maybe when the film is finished, someone else will have done it and released it. Maybe one day we will find out that reason and find out why Danny Boyle had to go. But it looks like it was to do with the villain of the piece. But yeah. So I mean, there's not much else I could say. I mean, I for one would be very much in favour of Sam Mendes stepping back in to direct, because he's directed 2 Bond movies before. He's a safe bet. He works with Daniel Craig very well. They know each other. They have a good rapport, and his 2 Bond films have made a lot of money, especially Skyfall. Skyfall made a billion, and it's the highest grossing British film of all time. It's that good. It's that successful. But I think Sam Mendes is currently dealing with some plays. I think he's directing some plays, so the likelihood of him returning is pretty slim, unless Daniel Craig can convince him to come back. But I remain hopeful. I mean, I hope someone good comes along. I hope they find a director soon. Otherwise, they're just going to keep delaying the film, and it's gonna be very difficult to remain excited for this one, but I will hold out my hope that Daniel Craig, Michael, Babs and co. will, Babs meaning Barbara Broccoli, will deliver one of the best Bond movies ever. I mean, they have to. I mean, after making us wait that long, you know, you got to make it good. And it will be Daniel Craig's swan song. It'll be his last film, and it's got to be good. But guys, you've got to get a director. You've got to, you know, resolve your creative differences. Just focus. Get a director. I say, if you can, get Sam Mendes. If not, fine, get someone else. Yeah, that whoever that someone else is, we will see. But currently standing, we have no director. We're back a step. We know that Craig's in it. That's good, but that's all we know. That's all we know. The release date now is very unknown. It's most likely going to be 2020, which sucks. Really does suck. But anyway, I won't ramble on too long. But yeah, that's my sort of brief thoughts on the news about Bond 25. I really want it to be great. I really do. I want it to be one of the best, if not the best, Bond film ever made. It's got to be good. It's got to be that good for us to make us wait that long. What are your guys' thoughts on this news? I know my one particular subscriber is very, very angry about this. I mean, Jack McCulloch, he's really annoyed about this. He's really pissed off. He's very angry, actually. I mean, we spoke about it on Google Plus, and not the release day thing, but the whole Danny Boyle dropping out, and he was very pissed off. I mean, understandably so, yeah. But I just take the attitude that ranting doesn't really solve anything, so I will just remain hopeful that one day we'll get it. We will get it. You know, it's got to come. We will get it. But yeah, it is partly Daniel Craig's fault, really. I mean, he took 2 years, nearly 2 years to confirm he was coming back for one more. It was only in summer, like July 2017, when on Stephen Colbert's Late Show, he said he was going to come back for his final film. You could have sped things up a bit, Craig. You could have sped things up. I know he wanted time off, and I know he made that derogatory comment in the press, and that caused tension, so that probably diminished his his wishes to return, but, you know, who knows. Anyway, that's it for now, folks, so thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more news-related content at some point. As soon as I know more about Bond 25, I'll put another video like this up. And thank you. So long for now.